Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider hitting the subscribe button, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Princess of Swords, ever the curious one, a lifelong learner, someone who is always looking for the answer, looking for the wisdom, looking for the meaning behind all of our activities, all of our choices, all of our circumstances of life. Yeah. This is a card that's telling me you have a very definite opinion about something, and I wonder if you're wondering how much you should speak up or how much you should hold back. Yeah, let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what's going on here. Two of Wands, yeah. Makes sense. Four of Swords, sure. A Prince of Wands. We have the Eon. And a Knight of Wands. So I do feel that there's a situation in your life right now where you're trying to get a little more information, maybe wondering if we should keep doing what we're doing or if we need to switch gears and start doing something new. Okay, this could be the idea where we're sort of something's been working pretty well. Should we just keep doing that, or should we try to innovate? Should we follow our sort of enthusiasm here? I was going to say our intuition, but I feel like right now we're still on the mental plane. We're still trying to analyze something and think, should I do this or should I not do it? Okay. At first I thought there was perhaps something that you were considering speaking up about or holding it in. I still kind of feel that there's that energy around you somewhere too. Yeah, because the Four of Swords is kind of saying, don't talk about it, just do it, Here we have more very fiery energy. There's a strong Leo connection. Both of these are Leo cards. I would watch the Leo reading if I were you. We have the Hierophant. We have a Six of Pentacles. And we have a Prince of Cups. Interesting with the water energy there at the end. I feel like you're shifting gears into a more authentic path for you. Yeah. I think that what you've been doing, yeah, it's been working. But I feel like the princess wouldn't be so curious about other things if this was all there is, right? If what you're doing currently is fulfilling and satisfying, if it felt right, there wouldn't be this kind of exploration. We wouldn't be flirting with other ideas. You know what I mean? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite deck. I'm looking at the card here. I'm seeing the doorway of the Eon card, right? The rebirth card. Here's our mystery card anyway. We'll put Dwight K. Schrute right on top. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. We're not going to look at that card until the end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. The doorway that's on my mind is this Eon card, because this is a life-changing decision. It's kind of like we're ready to take something to the next level. We're looking for a way to level up, right? But there's this idea of, do I just keep doing what I'm doing and it eventually will happen? Or do I have to change? Should I follow my enthusiasm? Do I do what I feel this impulse to do, right? Is that going to take me to the next level? Okay, I think in the immediate future, yes, I think you're going to be using your own genius, your own fiery will, okay, to go through this doorway. This is not something that we can sort of wait around and expect it to happen. Okay, this is a conscious decision to say, I'm transcending. I'm going through this doorway, I'm leveling up, I'm choosing to take things to that next level. Okay. Whereas the Four of Swords is kind of here saying, well, you know what, let's not stress ourselves out about it. Maybe between the air energies here, the Princess and the Four of Swords, it's the idea that there's really nothing more we can think about. There's no new data to get. All we've got to do is fire, right? This is very straightforward. Major arcana, right? We have 1, 2, and 3. We have this leveling up, this doorway, right? Now, we can use our own power, our own creativity, our own genius, our own courage and bravery, our own magic to propel us through the doorway, or it feels like we can go the way of the Hierophant in the environment, right? We can wait for our blessing to be bestowed upon us by outside forces. Right? The Hierophant, especially in the environment, right? Hierophant in the environment. I'm always suspicious when we get the Hierophant in the environment, because it feels like it's something coming from outside that is speaking with authority, something that's telling you from outside of you, external wisdom, so-called wisdom coming in that's saying, you will get it when I say you get it. You can have it when I deem you to be worthy of it, And I feel like, nah. I feel like there's that fiery energy that's just saying, I'm not waiting for anybody else to tell me that I can do it, to tell me I'm good enough, to tell me that I deserve it, to tell me that it's time. We, of course, have to be observant. We need the air energy. We need to be able to look outside and kind of take the temperature of the world. We need to lick the finger and feel which way the wind's blowing. But we have to take the initiative ourselves. We can't wait for something to be granted to us. Where some authority, some divine authority outside is saying, okay, here now, I've deemed you to be worthy of this achievement, and here's the blessing, Because I feel like it needs to come from inside. If you're having this impulse, if you're having this curiosity, if you're asking questions, it means something's going on inside of you. Okay? Something is in here that needs to be expressed. Yeah. So I kind of feel that there are the two methods, right, of getting through that doorway. We've got fire, fire, fire. Linearly, horizontal pathway, fire. Sorry, Dwight. We've got fire, fire, fire. Your consistency, your perseverance leading to innovation, leading to your decision to feel that impulse and let yourself go, let yourself get carried away by this idea. But the impulse of the Two of Wands is kind of like we're kind of stuck in the middle. We're thinking, do I stay here or do I go forward? Do I keep doing what I'm doing or do I do the new thing, right? And in some ways, maybe the princess, a certain part of us, is kind of hoping that someone out there will tell us what to do. Someone out there will say, no, now is not the time, you need to do it later or something, right? We're looking to appeal to some outside, some external authority to take the burden off of us, because, well, what we have to do now is choose. But your Princess of Swords doesn't like the choice. The Princess of Swords never feels adequate, never feels like, I never know enough, right? We're sort of questioning our own efficacy. We're questioning our own capabilities and thinking, I'm not smart enough to answer that question right now. I don't have enough data to make a good decision. Okay? So the problem with the Princess of Swords is that it will always feel that way. There's never enough. It's like, well, let me think about it a little bit more. Days, years go by. I'm still thinking it over. We're never able to collect enough data to give us that intellectual, logical certainty. Okay, so this is that part of our ego that is trying to shy away from a choice by saying, let me collate more data, or whatever they say. Right? I need a little bit more information first. And the problem with that is, of course, it just keeps going. But what we see under the surface with the Four of Swords is there's an end to that. It's kind of like, intuitively that there's a point in life where we don't have to investigate anymore. We collect enough data when we say we have enough data, because we can think about it on and on and on. Thoughts do nothing but beget more thoughts. Thoughts become thoughts become thoughts. It's just a never-ending process of multiplication. But with the 4, I think we realize that at a certain point in life, intellectually, I have to say, I got enough data. I got to make the decision. Because we're never going to reach a point where we literally have all the information. And if that's what we're waiting for, we're never going to get it. And therefore, we'll never make the decision. So the 4 is that instinct. It's below the surface. This is that part of you that knows. And eventually, at some point, I've just got to say, okay, enough is enough. It's time to choose. There's no more, because we get some data that says yes. We get some data that says no. Okay, well, I need to investigate more. We get more data that says yes. We get more data that says no. The mind will just argue back and forth endlessly. This is that card that says stop. This is an ending to all of that mental stress, all the cogitation, all the internal debate. We're not wrestling with it anymore because we realize that our thought can only take us so far. We do the pros and cons list, we do the math, and I still don't know. How many times have we made the pros and cons list? And at the end, we still say, I don't know. And why is that? Well, it's because, one, the pros and cons list may be pretty equal. At the end of the day, we're gonna find a way to make it equal. Or pros and cons list is going to be very heavy on one side, but that's not enough to say, okay, going to the right obviously has more data in there and more reasons, right? There's more reasons on the pro side, so I'll just do it. Because for us, in our spirit, that's not enough. Maybe it's because, well, I really wanted it to be the other way. And so, I'm not satisfied with the results. It's kind of like Michael Scott in The Office, where he's just saying, well, crunch the numbers again. He's like, well, the numbers are the numbers. We'll just crunch it again, And that's the way the mind works. So if we have an internal bias, that's going to affect things. If we are literally on the fence about something, then we're going to find ways to balance ourselves in that indecisive position. Okay? There's a moment where logic has to say, I've done all I could. This is all I could find. Anything more than this is going to be redundant. It's just going to be superfluous, and it's just going to be an overload of data. Over-analysis, right? Which would really be an 8 of swords. So we're stopping before we get there. We're stopping at the 4, and we're realizing we have to make this intuitive, instinctual sort of decision to move forward. Now, linearly, you do have that, okay? But the obstacle is us just deciding to do it and not waste another moment trying to collate the data, as it were. The 2 of Wands is that card of choice, a choice of directions, a choice of action, right? Following the impulse or not following the impulse. And because this is not a 2 of Swords, it's not a 2 of Pentacles, this is something that you feel inside of you, an impulse that's pushing you in a new direction. And we're saying, whoa, wait a minute. Why do I feel that way? Why am I being pushed toward this new direction, this new thing, this innovation, this kind of spontaneous behavior? Why do I feel compelled to jump into something else or a new level, a new different something? Because we're surprised that we feel that push from inside of us, and we're trying to think about it logically. But at least we're having the conversation with ourselves, right? But there comes a point where we have to stop that conversation, and it's time for action. Yeah, and I think that action is leading you toward innovation. It's leading you toward a new path. It's leading you toward a leveling up. See, you could just see by the attitude of these figures. The Prince of Wands is kind of steady, doing the same thing, right on course, not going up, not going down, not going left or right, just going straight ahead. Okay, continuing the path we're on, perseverance, endurance. It's a fixed fire energy. This is very volatile fire energy. This is an energy that wants to be volatilized. Volatilized, I don't know. There's very different. Very fixed, very volatile. And so with the Prince of Wands in the background, it is this idea, do I stay doing what I'm doing? Do I keep it the same way it is? Don't change a thing, just keep plugging away at it, right? but you feel an impulse, you feel this urge, you feel something in you that is wanting to leap up. See this angle? Leaping upward. This is going straight ahead. This is very linear or very even lateral moves. This is an ascendance. There's no doubt about it. We're taken off into a higher level here. Do I stay doing the same thing or do I level up? Am I ready to level up? What does it require if I level up? Should I level up? Should I wait for somebody to level me up? The Knight of Wands is saying, just pedal to the metal, balls to the wall, let's go. Very impulsive, very volatile. This is double fire Aries energy here. Okay? Double fire Aries energy. And we're doing it. And I think the immediate future for you is taking the leap, taking the risk, doing it, going for it. And I think that you're making that decision, you're going through that doorway, and there's no turning back. Once you take this risk, once you take this leap, right? And the thing about the Knight of Wands is that this leap has to be done with full confidence. The horse and the rider need to be one unit. Can't be any hesitation. If the horse feels that you're a little nervous, horse is going to throw you right down into the dirt, right? And so we have to be one with the horse, with our instinct, with our urge, with our impulse, with our motivation here. Okay, so we're sort of making the decision to not hesitate. There's no trepidation. It's like you're running to jump into the pool, but then you sort of try to slow down when you're getting close to the edge and you get scared, you get uncertain, you're going to flop. So you're just running with confidence and you're jumping in with no hesitation. The horse will feel your hesitation. It'll throw you down. You belly flop, right? And what you're doing is you're leveling up your life. You're going through this doorway where your future is going to be much different than what you thought it was going to be. You're ascending. Okay? You're ascending. And there's a hesitation already with the Princess of Swords, because we're going to think about it before we do it. Eventually, we got to stop thinking and we got to do it. And we're going to leap forward. We're going to leap through this doorway, and who knows what's on the other side? Magic, a new universe, a new reality for you. Okay? You're taking the leap. And you've got to do it with everything you've got. Now, Path of the Serpent. We got the Leo energy here with the Lust or Strength card. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider hitting the subscribe button. These readings are totally free. So, the Strength card. This is self-control. This is our ability to believe in ourselves, I guess. It's our feeling of capability. It's really the opposite of the Princess of Swords. Hesitating, shaking, nervous, right? This card, the Leo energy, the Lust or Strength card, is confidence. It's a steady hand. It's a belief that we can do it. It's a stature. It is, it's the feeling of capability. It's the feeling that I can reach up and I can pluck a star out of the night sky and put it in my pocket. There's no, there's almost like no self-consciousness here. There's no insecurity. It's passion, it's lust, it's a driving appetite, it's a hunger for doing this. It needs to be controlled. It needs to be directed in a proper way, right? And it's courage. Bottom line, it's courage. It's the bravery to go forward into life's journey, right? And to, at some point, cease asking questions. Stop trying to get the answers. Right, because there are no answers. Answers lead to more questions, lead to more answers, lead to more questions. It never ends. Eventually, action has to replace the asking. Okay, now the Hierophant in the environment, in terms of the relationships, I think in some way this is you kind of as the result of all of this. This is you kind of taking the risk, taking this big leap, having this confidence in yourself, and on the other side, landing on your feet and realizing that, okay, all of my bravery, all of my courage, it was for a good reason, because look, I'm successful. I've done it. I've landed on the other side and I'm okay. It's kind of like we pretend to have the confidence. We kind of fake it till we make it. right? And hoping on the other side, hoping that we make it, you know. So in some way, I feel like you're becoming the authority, you're becoming the expert or the wise one, right? But the Hierophant in the environment, again, it's somebody else trying to interpret things for us. The Hierophant is the one that interprets the sacred texts, you know, and it tells us, it translates it to our puny little minds, what all of this means. Okay, and I think that in a way you're done with that. You're not accepting that dynamic anymore. I think you're going to discover what life is. It's like I don't want to sit here and just watch the documentary about it. I want to go and live it and become the one that is out there, you know, filming it and talking about it and engaged with it, right? So we're going to learn by doing, not by listening to the lecture about it. Yeah. So that's kind of the energy that we see here. Because, of course, the Princess of Swords, like I said, it is that learning energy, always the curious one. But now we're going to satisfy that curiosity, not by listening to somebody else tell us about their adventures. We're going to go have the adventure ourselves. This could be a work thing, could be a career, could be a vocation. This could be your calling in life. This could be a passion of yours. It could be a creativity thing. It could be a hobby. It could just be a sport or a stamp collection. I don't know. Maybe there's a book you're writing. Maybe it's a song you're trying to sing. Whatever it is, you're taking the risk. Yeah. And the obstacle, the worry, is the success, the material success. We're really hoping that we jump through this doorway, we jump through this fiery hoop, and we're really hoping that there's light at the end of that tunnel. Really hoping that I land on my feet and that it works, and that I'm good at it, and that I get the recognition for it, that it pays the bills, or whatever it's supposed to do, right? Whatever the expected or the desired success is, that's kind of what we're scared of. Well, what if I do this and it doesn't work? What if I do it and nobody likes it? What if I try and fail, right? So success is the obstacle here. Because in a large way, it doesn't matter if you succeed or fail. What matters is that you've answered the call of your soul, whatever this tension is that's inside of you, and you've taken the risk. You've taken the leap of faith in yourself, regardless of where you land, regardless of whether you succeed or fail. Maybe this is going to be just glorious and prosperous and lucrative and profitable. Maybe you're going to land on the other side and you're going to stumble a little bit. You know, this is like, I want to stick the landing. Well, maybe you're going to fall and you're going to hurt your ankle or whatever, but you're going to get up, you're going to be okay. But the power that you will have gained through this, that's the real win, okay? And I also think that, this isn't to say that you're not going to be successful. I think the message here is that you don't want to be overly concerned with the material success of doing this. You got to want to do this because it's you, because it's your impulse, because this is appropriate for you. The end goal is not the success or failure of it. The long-term result is your authenticity. You're emerging with this satisfaction of yourself that's saying, I did it. Maybe I did it poorly, but I did it, right? So let me put that another way. You will succeed. This will be a success. This will be profitable for you. It will work out. There will be harmony and resonance. But that is not the goal you should be focusing on. That's not the real win. The real win is the truth of who you are, the belief in yourself, the authenticity, right? Your ability to know and trust who you are and to be able to do what your soul is urging you to do, and to not be hesitating, not be afraid of the failure, of the success. Okay? So we have to leap over this concern. Of course, we want to be successful. We want to stick the landing. We want to do the best we can. We want it to be profitable. But if that is the only thing motivating you, then I think you're missing the point. This is a very authentic energy. This is someone who knows who they are. Right? This is somebody that says, look, this is me. I'm showing up for my life. I'm here in service of my soul. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm not comparing myself to anybody else. I'm not letting anybody else tell me who I am. I'm figuring it out for myself. Win or lose, success or fail, doesn't matter. This becomes an arbitrary thing. Let's forget that's even there. Would you still take the leap? Even if you didn't know whether you would succeed or fail. That's the idea. You've got to do this anyway. I don't think I've ever said this to anyone before. That I don't want you to be so reassured by the success. I think it's going to work out great, but I don't want to tell you that. Right? I want to tell you, no, this is probably going to hurt. It's probably going to be terrible. Do you still want to do it? Is that how important it is to you? This has to be something that you're willing to do even if you fail at it, even if it's terrible the first time, even if you never really get that great at it, because that's a subjective evaluation anyway. Great compared to what? Successful compared to who? Whom? Whose? And so that really is like, are we really free of that hierophant? Or is it still sort of haunting us and saying, well, look, you still have to, there's still something else out there that's going to tell you whether what you did was worth it, that whether what you did was valuable, whether you're valuable. We have to find our own subjective way, our own spiritual way, really, of evaluating our own choices. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. We'll put this back. I mean, it is encouraging to know that what we do is going to pay off. But that cannot be the only reason you're doing this. Sometimes we have to answer the call of our own soul, you know. We got to get rid of that hierophant in the environment. Mystery card, was it going to be another hierophant? No, I'm thinking high priestess. Right? The wisdom, the judgment, the vision, the message from inside, not outside, inside. Or a 10 of cups, that's good too. The happiness, the satisfaction. Win or lose, success or fail, this is a win. This is happiness for you. This is satisfaction, fulfillment. Fulfillment, the meaning of life. Being authentic, listening to your soul, and doing what you're put on this earth to do. Not needing to compare yourself to any standard of success or failure, any kind of status, any kind of outside authority saying, yes, what you did was good job. No, we don't need that. We don't need that kind of validation from the hierophant in the environment. We're finding meaning in life, and that meaning is something that comes from within. It's not something coming from outside, some kind of validation or confirmation from outside of us saying, yeah, what you do has meaning, what you do has value, what you did was worth it. That has to be a feeling in here, you know? I like this. Let's do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Cancer, Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button. These readings don't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.